What is that on your uniform? Hey, ScouterStan, let's talk a little bit about the uniform. Now, I've done videos on the history of uniform and all the different things, and I get questions about patches and things on my uniform. This is the last season for this shirt. I have plumb worn it out. It is actually starting to fray, okay? It's starting to tear. Recently there were some questions about things that are on my uniform, different knots and different items that are on there. A lot of those things, I put them on there deliberately because I'm telling a story, okay? That's kind of what's going on with all the different patches. And we're going to talk about each one of them and how it relates to everything. That is critical. Now, leaders out there that wear blank uniforms with little or no story to be told can be perceived as being deceiving. But I am sure that that's not their intention. We want to set the example for our youth to really start caring about the story that their uniform tells. And a big part of that is being trustworthy. We want to make sure that all the things that are on the uniform are trustworthy. Now, this is the same uniform that I wear when I go out to boards of review or to visit with troops or crews or ships or any of those kinds of things. I go to round table in this uniform. So it is my regular uniform that I wear as what I call a neighborhood. That's an old term, actually, a neighborhood unit commissioner. I have units that I visit on a regular basis, and I wear this uniform. Now, I did mention in the not video, I'll put it up here. Don't go there now. I'm going to put it up here, and then that way you can go there later. It's there for the whole video, okay? So go there and you'll see a knot video. And I mentioned about the wood badge shirt. And that is actually going to be next season's shirt. I'm converting that over. In wood badge, the uniform shirt is kept very plain. And the reason they do that is so that people, when they are learning leadership, they don't automatically go to the person with the book, all the patches and stuff. They don't go to them. They go within their own group, their own patrol, and they develop their own leadership. Very critical. And we don't want to interrupt that with uniforms that would tell a story of come to this person, they know what they're doing. That's not the point of wood badge. We want people to learn leadership. So they wear a very plain shirt, and that's fine. At the end, they wear their regular shirt. So if you want to read the story then, that's great. They just don't want to interrupt it at the most critical times during wood badge. All right, let's get into it. Now I'm going to put these photographs up of the different parts. And the first one I want to talk about is my council. I live in Central Florida. That's where I work and live. And my council, Central Florida Council, has many different council strips. This one is actually one for NISA. It was to promote the lifetime membership of NISA, and that's the National Eagle Scout Association. And you will actually see the eagle in the middle there. And NISA is in the same threads and everything, and it's got a silver border and everything. So that is my council strip. Now you'll also notice that there's no numbers underneath that. I'm not registered with a unit. I'm registered with a district. So that's different. Unit commissioners can be with a unit. So and that's fine. And they can have a number there. But typically most unit commissioners will have a commissioner's shirt without any numbers. And that's so that there's no confusion, that it's quite clear that that person is with the district. Now, just below that is a commissioner's patch. They all have a laurel that goes around the scout fleur-de-lis. Now, this one is unique. This one's from the 60s. My father was a professional scouter, and he collected some of the patches that you would have on a uniform. And I ended up inheriting this patch, and I often look at this patch and think of him and his dedication to scouting, and how that, like father, like son. That's kind of the crossover there that I've got. This is actually from the 60s. This is the neighborhood, or what became a unit commissioner's patch. This patch also would change to different colors depending if you are a district commissioner, even a council commissioner. That would have different colors. They didn't have the actual words on there. So you had to know the different colors. Typically gold was the lower level than the silver. It follows along the military lines. Now, of course, right below that is trained. I have done all my online training. I've done all my physical training for that position. I've often seen other scout leaders put funny trained patches, but it's like potty trained and all those things. Yeah, that's okay. It's actually quite funny, because it is. The adults have to have some kind of fun. We got to be cheerful, right? So that's funny, but it shouldn't be on a normal uniform. Sometimes I wear my uniform to very serious things, and I don't want to be misinterpreted. Now, below that is an award that I received. It's an arrowhead. The silver arrowhead is for commissioner training. Once you've done all of your commissioner training, you get a knot and you get the arrowhead. It's a lot like a scoutmaster would have a gold star on their position patch, along with the knot. Now, with all that, that's the left sleeve. Over the pocket, we have starting from the flap up. Now, typically, there's nothing on an adult leader's uniform on the left pocket from the pocket flap down. The only thing that could be added to that area would be, I believe it's called powder horn, and it has a lot to do with venturing. Okay, it's a venturing, high adventure leadership course, and there's a very unique metal pendant that dangles from the flap of the pocket. That's the only thing that goes on that area. The pocket is reserved. Other than that, it's reserved for the youth. The youth actually put their rank there. The youth the Cub Scouts will often put the arrow of light. The ones that have gotten the arrow of light, the ones that are in a troop, they'll have the rank and the arrow of light at the same time on that side of the uniform. For adults, we don't do that. That area is reserved for that only exception, but it's reserved for the youth. Now, above the pocket, the first row that's of knots that I have were actually earned when I was a youth. They're not in the order that I earned them. They can be in any particular order, but I put them as you read them from right to left. Eagle Scout, which is also a silver bordered patch representing lifetime membership in NISA. The middle patch on the bottom row is my Arrow of Light from Cub Scouts. And the patch on the far left on the bottom row is the God and Country Religious Award I got when I was in a troop. And it was hard, okay? It was hard. I had to sing with the family in the choir for I think it was more than 2 years. It was a lot of commitment, but I cherish those days. Now the next row up on there is the District Award of Merit, And the next two are training. One for the commissioner, training I mentioned, and the other one was when I was an assistant scoutmaster and when I was a cub master. The one on the very top is actually the newest one, and that's the silver beaver. I recently received that during the lockdown, in 2020. That's when I received it, and that's the patch. It comes with a medal and all the other stuff. So that's really what's up there. And then above that, we have the outer ring here is for the 100th anniversary of scouting in 2010. They had this little ring that you could put around to acknowledge that you were in scouting at that time. And then, of course, the international scouting in the middle, the WAMU patch, the purple patch that we have on every uniform. Now, of course, I'm with the district, so I wear these silver, I call them duct tape colored epaulets. Let's get into the right sleeve. The right sleeve, of course, starts off with the American flag. Now, you'll notice that the American flag is in a display position. This is standard on all American Scout uniforms. It's one of the few patches that come with the shirt. Now, what's really interesting about that American flag, it's in the display position. On most military uniforms, it would be in the what they call the forward position, where the stars would be on the right. And typically, if you're going into something or if you're going towards battle, that's appropriate. For peacetime scouting, position is in display. So adult leaders out there, do not change that, okay? Because that is a no-no, okay? We shouldn't do that. We need to be in the display position because this statement is that we're at peace at home. Scouting is a peacetime thing, and I love the flag. Okay, I think that's a wonderful thing. And I'm glad it comes with the shirt. Now below that are some optional items, and I get a lot of emails about the following too. Now this is the Journey to Excellence for the district patch of 2015. And I wear that because that was the year that I left the troop that I was assistant scoutmaster for and went full time into unit commissioning. Just below that is the number one question symbol that's out there, and it's just my patrol patch, okay? In our district, our DE was with the military, and he had a whole bunch of these patches. They didn't need them, so he donated them to the district. The district got basically it got permission from council to use this as our patrol patch. This is the Griffin patch, and you'll notice that there's a Griffin head figure on the patch. That is military, but that's our patrol. And we often think of the Griffin patrol as membership. We're pointing America's youth to a good program, to a good path. And that's really what the Griffin, the history of the Griffin is fascinating. That's where this mythology comes in with the Griffin and how that, getting pilgrims to go down the right path, that's really what a Griffin does. And hopefully our patrol does that too. It helps young people find scouting. And that is our primary goal, is membership. Now the next thing is the pocket on the right side. The flap that I wear is Tipasaw. I'm in Central Florida. We have one of the best camps in the nation called La Noche, and that's where Tipasaw calls home. Now our council is quite large, and there is a camp that one of the chapters calls home. So that, don't send me a bunch of emails about that, okay? But it is Central Florida, okay? It's in the middle of the state. It is huge. This is a gigantic council. And of that, the largest population is the district that I'm in. Now, some Scout uniforms will have different things on there. This is an older shirt, so it says Boy Scouts of America on it. And right above that, I put my name tag. I like a simple name tag. I don't want something elaborate, because if it gets broken, I will be heartbroken, and I don't want that. So I want a standard name tag. Now, below that, of course, is the dangle area. I always leave the ligament, again, go up there later, okay? The ligament dangle that I put on there. There's two reasons. I'm very proud of my service as an ligament, and it keeps my dangles from flipping over, okay? So it serves two purposes. And this is where you can put on your camporee, your campouts, and all those different patches that you go when you go do stuff. That's where you would put it. And at the bottom of that is a recruiter patch. Now, keep this in mind. The recruiter patch is for youth. But in our district, in our council, if you're involved in recruiting and you recruit 1,000 scouts, you can wear the recruiter patch as an adult. Otherwise, the one-on-one, one scout recruiting one scout, they get the recruiter patch. But when you're an adult, it's 1,000. Okay, and it took years. So a lot of Cub Scouts, a lot of troops. Okay, so that it's well worth it. So I wear that with pride. Now I want to ask you: do you have something on your uniform that's special to your council, to your district? That would be great. I'd love to hear about them in the comments. I can't guarantee I will reply in volume, but I guarantee I will see them. So if you put them in the comments, I'd love to hear about the different things you have on your uniform. And like always, keep up that good work. Remember that the uniform tells a story, and an adult leader should wear a nice, clean, sharp uniform that tells a good story. And that's what I've always tried to project. And I know you do that too. So keep up the good work, and I will see you on the trail.